Hello and welcome to a brand new video here today on Ryan Talks Tech. Hope you're doing well. Now, I have noticed this is my first video in quite some time. I've had a lot going on personally recently, so I've just not really had time for the channel. But I'm back now and I hope to be bringing you more regular content once again. Today we're going to be taking a look at a pair of earbuds. And you may remember a few months ago, I made a video on my new favourite over-ear headphones, the Bowers Wilkins Pi6. But today we're going to be taking a look at my second Bowers Wilkins product, and these are earbuds, and these are the, if I get the case the right way, the Pi6 earbuds. Now, I know they're not the latest and greatest. The latest, as far as I'm aware at this time, are the Pi8s, but I've got the Pi6, simply because I couldn't justify the asking price on the Pi8s. I'm not saying they're not worth the money, they probably are. It's just, at the price they're asking, for the amount I use earbuds, I really can't justify spending that amount of money on a pair of earbuds. So in my case, I've gone for the Pi6. Now, they are a little old. I believe they was released in August of 2024, so they're a little over a year old now, but we're going to do a review on them anyway, because I've had them for a month or two at the time of this recording, and it's safe to say I've been seriously impressed with them. So I wanted to bring you a review and share my thoughts on the Bowers & Wilkins Pi6 earbuds. So, let's get into it. Alright, so let's start with what I would say matters the most in a pair of earbuds or headphones: sound quality. Now, I have been a user of mainstream consumer grade headphones for as long as I can remember. Things like the AirPod Pros, the Sony WF-1000XM5. I think I've got the name correct. Do correct me if I'm wrong though in the comments. Sony use ridiculously long names for nearly all their products, so it is hard to remember. But yeah, I've been a user of mainstream consumer earbuds for quite a while. But these are more specialist. Bowers & Wilkins aren't a company that I would consider mainstream. They're well known, don't get me wrong, but they're well known to a specific demographic. What is the word I'm looking for? A specific audience is what I would say. They're well known to a specific audience. It's not like you could walk down the street and ask anybody what's the company Bowers & Wilkins. Most people probably aren't going to know. But people who truly care about audio, they'll know what Bowers & Wilkins are. Now, if you've used AirPods Pros or Sonys or any mainstream consumer earbuds, don't get me wrong, they're probably great. But when you step up to something like this, that's so specialist, it really is a totally different ballgame. I mean, it's not even on the same playing field. So when I first got these, I just put them in my ears, started listening a few tracks, as they are, straight out of the box, no changes to the bass or the treble or anything like that, just as they are straight out of the box. And I was really impressed straight away. The first thing I noticed was how clear the sound is. But I'd come to expect that from owning the Pi6. So I knew what Bowers & Wilkins were about. They were about clear, easy to hear sound. They don't want anything to sound muddy, over exaggerated, which I will move on to in a minute because I do have a slight caveat on that. But out of the box, they sound clean, perfect, exactly what you'd like. However, I am a bass lover, and I really do love my bass. Now, I'm not saying that these don't give enough bass out of the box. For the average user, they probably do. But I really do enjoy a lot of bass in my music. So I downloaded the Bowers & Wilkins music app, and I cranked the bass up, and slightly cranked up the treble, only very slightly. Now, these, with my settings, which is the bass almost at full, and the treble slightly over 0 dB, I think it's about +1, something like that. These give the exact sound I want, and the bass is thumping, and I really do mean thumping. I've had a lot of earbuds over the years, but never have I had a pair with bass as good as these. Like, I'm seriously impressed with these. These are everything I wanted them to be and more. So that's the sound. I'm seriously impressed with it. It's exactly what you want, really. I mean, don't get me wrong, the average sound that comes straight out of the box, it's great. But if you're a tinkerer like myself and you enjoy heavy bass, or maybe you enjoy a bit more high end, you can absolutely do that with the Bowers and Wilkins Music app. So there's no concerns there at all. Build quality, plastic case, plastic earbuds. But just because the plastic, that's not to say they feel cheap at all. They certainly don't. They do feel high quality. Charging is typical USB-C. One thing I do miss from these that I did use on my AirPods Pro was wireless charging. I used to quite like wireless charging, just sitting them down, leaving them, they don't take them off. It's hard to describe because it's not particularly hard to plug a wire in. It's just something you don't forget about because you can just have your wireless charger sat there, ready to place on, and you don't even think about it. Where with the wire, you've got to get the wire out, plug it in, and it's not like I'm saying it's hard. It's just something you need to remember. Where with the wireless charger, you don't really have to, because you just set it down and it charges. So yeah, build quality is great. Charging is okay, but I would like wireless charging. I think the next model up, the PX8, not the PX8, the Pi8, sorry, I think they have the wireless charging, but I'm not 100% sure. So if you're going to buy them for that reason, I'd check first. But I definitely know the Pi6 don't have wireless charging. But it is good to see it's on the latest charging standard, which of course is USB-C. In terms of battery I've had very little problems with. The only thing is I do forget to put them on charge sometimes, which is why I'm saying I'd prefer to have wireless charging because it's less to think about. But once they are charged, they last plenty. They easily last me an entire day of use. And to be honest, that's more than I'll ever need because I'm not the type of person who uses earbuds all day. I much prefer over-ear headphones, but I like to have a nice pair of earbuds on hand just for if I go out and about, if I want to go for a walk, anything like that. It's just nice to have a nice pair of earbuds on hand. So yeah, overall, I'm seriously impressed with these Bowers & Wilkins Pi6. Now, I got these at a really good price, £160. That's all I paid for these. I don't know what the retail is, the original RRP. I think it's £229, but don't quote me on that. That's just what I think I can remember from having a little look online. But I only paid £169, I think, and for that price, I'm blown away. Really can't recommend them enough. The Pi6, and the ones above this are the Pi8s. Now, I imagine there's not a whole lot in difference between these and the Pi8s. I've not tried the Pi8s, so I can't say for certain, but I imagine the main thing with the Pi8s is there's a few extra features and things like that. Of course, these have your noise cancelling, your transparency mode. That's all very good, but I imagine it's probably slightly better on the Pi8s because obviously they're meant to be a step up. And I imagine the sound quality is slightly better on the Pi8s as well. That's not to say the sound quality or the noise cancelling or anything is bad on these, because it really isn't. It's just obviously the Pi8s are the next model up, so I imagine it is probably slightly better on them. But I do think it will be a slight difference. So if you're looking for a good all-rounder pair, I'd seriously recommend the Pi6. But if you want the true best, then the Pi8s are probably better for you. So that's about it for this video. Really good earbuds. And this is my second product from Bowers & Wilkins. And really happy with both. The PX8s as my older ears and the Pi6 as my in-ears. Really happy with both. But yeah, that is about it for this video. So I do hope you've enjoyed. I do plan to bring back more regular content, hopefully soon. Please subscribe to the channel and ding that notification bell so you don't miss out on any future uploads. Please do like the video, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.